So we are starting with Scratch. I hope everybody can see the Scratch playground once again. So as we said, this is a very nice and interesting way of learning the programming. So this cat, whatever here it is called as sprite. That is on the stage. That is our stage where the actual objects will be placed and we can play around it. Now to play around it, we have this particular script area wherein we can have the script block from the left side. We can drag it and drop it over here, and we can have a sequence as whatever we want, and we'll get the output of it. Now the nice thing is that if even I say we can just drag it and drop it as we want, the thing is that we can check for the sequence immediately whether it is working or not, right? So that is the beauty of this Scratch programming, and hence I suggest and I insist everyone to just play around this. Okay, so that is how we have with Scratch initial thing that we have seen. We have seen the categories of this control. This is even called as palettes. So they are categorized into motion, look, sound, and so forth. So then if you are very confident about the category, you can directly go to the category and you can take and drag it out, or otherwise even you can scroll and you can check it out what exactly you are searching for. So once you get the practice of it, yes, you can directly to the particular palette. We have the costumes. As we know, we can just specify, we can just draw something, we can duplicate the sprite and so forth. You can have the different voices even. So that we have covered, and we have covered that drum. Now after that, actually Parimal asked me a very nice question. Okay, Priya, you showed us three things that time, correct? So let me quickly bring up whether I can. I'm just searching for the last time stage, whatever we did. I guess, is that right? It will take time. Yeah, maybe it was halfway done. Hello, Gargi. Everyone is facing the same issue. You are not able to hear me. Okay, so we are just revising the last details. We have seen that we have the stage and we have the singer, we have the drums. So we have total 3 sprites. Correct. Let me see what is the issue. Yes, still it is breaking because at my side. Okay. The connection is good. Actually, it is showing me the good signal. I'll go slow. We are only revising the last terms. Yeah. Oh. So if you can see, I am revising from the last session only. Okay, fine. So we know that if I click on this, it is going to sound something different. If I click on this, it is going to sound something different. It is going to sound something different. Now the thing is that for this drum we have used this sprite is clicked and space bar. So we have seen that how this events work. So if I click on this, it gives me some different sound. So select the sprite to check what exactly we have used. And as far as this singer sprite is concerned, we have done that. Now Parimal asked me that, Priya, is there any way so that all of them can be played together? So to her I replied no. Correct? We cannot do that. So but her question was absolutely right, saying that if it is a program, then program has particular start and particular end. So why don't we have here in the slide? Why you need to go and always click on this? Now, as I wanted to answer her question in detail when as we are progressing. So here I will try to answer your question. Very first, the answer to the question is yes. Correct? Yes, you can have a continuously flowing program over here in Scratch as well. But whenever you are designing as a programmer, you have to design it as a module. Correct? So assume that in programming, whenever you click on a particular sprite and do some scripting, or you just put and drag and drop blocks one after the other, it becomes the scripting, it becomes the code. Now whenever you do so, we say that we are creating a module. So in a way, technically in the programming language, I can say that yes, there are 3 modules that we have developed. Correct? Okay. Now currently they are actually executing independently. There is no link in between them. So I have to click on this separately. I have to click on the singer separately. Correct? So that is how it is right now working. We want to club together as a program. So what to do? Interestingly, what you have to do is, if you have downloaded its desktop version, then we are not able to do much with it. Correct? How many of you have seen the link I have sent for this project? I did combine this project into one application and I posted that link. Anybody tried with that? I expect answers. Have you seen the same project? Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Gargi. Anyone else other than Gargi? So Gargi is really active. Thank you, Gargi. You are such a nice person. Then who else has tried? No. Parimal has tried. Okay. Yeah. Good. So Parimal is another what can I say, participant who is trying. Good. Fine. So why you have to try is just to take a feel of it, what is happening and what can happen, right? Okay. Now the thing is that let me tell you how to do that. Very first, as I said, if you are not able to do it, if you have downloaded the desktop version of it, then what to do? So let's go to the Google Chrome. Can you see this window? Can you see my Chrome window? Yes. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to go to the URL called as scratch.mit.edu. This is what from where it has picked up. And you have to create your login. Now the thing is that I have already created my login, and hence you can see that here it is showing you my username. So it is showing you my username. Fine. Now what I have to do is, you can even, as I told you, you don't have to download the desktop version. It is for offline use. You can use Scratch Online as well. So you can create your same project from here. But the thing is that if I'm using online version of it, then I'm restricted, or it eats the data. So I don't want to be always online and just what can I say, consuming my data. So I have just downloaded this. What you have to do is then go to the right side and try finding my stuff. So it is a folder. Correct? Fine. So as soon as it opens it, it shows you what all projects you have created. So there are certain projects called as Untitled 2, Untitled, and Priya's Scratch project. Now the good thing is that actually whenever you go for this, you can see that project, whether it is shared or not shared. So let me hide this. I'll try to hide this because I am not able to sign. Fine. Now if you see this, with this two, whatever the projects are there, it is nothing written, but whereas Scratch, it is showing you something like this. There are the views, 8 views are there. So 8 people, I can say that it was viewed by 8 people. Fine. I want to share it, correct? So you can see here as well. Okay, you need to share it. So whenever you will share it, then it will form it as a one project and you can run it and you can share it anywhere. What else I'll do is I'll try to unshare it and let's try whether we can share it back. Now you will see that there are 3 unshared projects. I need to share it. What you have to do is you have to try going inside the project by clicking on the name of the project. Fine. So it is showing me this way. So wherever you want to put your instructions, your notes, or maybe the credits, because many of the time what happens is we take some information from somewhere else, maybe the pictures, maybe the images, and you can have to give the credit. That is a great programming practice. Give the credit. That means credit in the sense you have to just put from where you have copied that particular picture. That's it. Now it will show you like that. Then you have to click on the button called as See Inside once again. So once you go to See Inside, it will come back to your project itself, and then you have to go to the See project page because that is already showing me shared. So let me try. No. It is showing me shared only. So okay, so if this happens continuously, what you have to do is better. In case of about, this happens, that is fantastic. Go to about, and just scroll down. You have to just scroll down to FAQs. Go to FAQs and scroll down itself. Fine. Sometimes this happens because your account is not confirmed. So you need to check whether it is confirmed. So you have to check for this question. Go to your email settings, and yes, it is saying that my email is actually confirmed. So if it is not confirmed, it will, you have to confirm it. That is, it will send you the mail from where. Hello. I am not still audible. So you have to confirm your email account. Hello. Yeah. You may check the other details as well from here. And once again, try going into the Scratch. I guess some problem is happening even though it is confirmed. It shows me actually the share as the option, the button. Yeah, see. Now here it is showing me this share button. Now as soon as I say share, it is saying that yes, your project has been shared. So once again, if you want to share it now, you can just copy the link, and this is your link to share. So this link you can copy and paste to anywhere, to any group or to anyone, and that particular person is able to see your project, right? So this is how you can share, and you can make it as a project available, single running project. Now you can see that here it is showing me this green bar, and if you click on this, actually speaking, if you can write this. So it is running one. I hope you understood. If not, I'll just once again repeat. You have to go to your stuff. You have to first of all go to scratch.mit.edu on the web. Create your login. Yeah, I'm just showing you the Scratch screen. Correct? You have to create your login. Then go to My Stuff. Find out your project. Click on the name of your project and check whether you can see the share button. If you're not able to see the share button, go to About, confirm your email. So confirmation of email in the sense they send you the email at your registered email address. Go there, click on their link for confirmation, and once you come back, you can see that it is showing you the share button. So that is how we create a single project, right? Fine. So today we'll see the next step of it. So let's go. Now can you see this screen wherein nothing is placed actually? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so our cat sprite is there. Very first thing that I am doing is I am deleting this. Let's go ahead. We have seen that there is a sprite, so go and search for a sprite called as, say, butterfly. So I have this butterfly. I am taking this butterfly, and this sprite can be adjusted anywhere. I am putting the backdrop. Now this time my backdrop will be jungle. So whatever you want, you can get that. I like this. So this is what is my sprite is available on the backdrop. So it is just roaming in the jungle. Right, great. What exactly I want to do then? Actually speaking, I want to make it move. So let's try once again. Very first we have event. See, this is called as event driven programming. So whatever I was telling to Parimal, the same thing I'm repeating it. This type of programming is called as event driven programming, in the sense unless and until you do certain actions on that particular sprite, that sprite is not going to respond. So it can be anything, like as we are using this, if when this sprite is clicked, so this becomes just a second. I am not able to drag and drop this. Let me check what has happened. Once again, I'll go to new. Can I? Let me then restart it. Somebody's audio is on. So let me check with the event. This is getting this. If I say click on, okay. So once again I'll remove this sprite. Let's again go and find out the butterfly. I like this butterfly, so I took that butterfly and I put the backdrop as jungle. So it is the jungle. Fine. Fine. So I was talking about this is called as the event driven programming. So it is going, this sprite butterfly is going to listen whenever it is clicked. You may say, instead of click, you may say that when you are going to click on this run button or the green button. So unless whatever is the command over here, only to that it is going to respond, and hence it is called as event driven programming. Correct? So fine, I have to that. So what exactly I want to do? Very first, I want to make it somewhat glide or मला त्याला उडवायचे थोडक्यात. In that case, very first I want to have some sound. So I'll say that play sound pop. So just put it here. Now the beauty is that when you are talking about the sprite, accordingly the things get changed. Correct? So you don't have to really worry about what to do now. So just saying. So if I just click on here as well, it is going to execute. So it is just executing now. Play the sound as pop. Fine. So what exactly I want? I want to make it jump. So for make it jump, I want to go to say motion, because it is going to move. Now I have so many things. I may say move 10 steps, I may turn it, or I may do something different. So this time, very first I am going to say glide for a second at random position. So let's see if you click on this. Correct? So your program is done. Great. Fine. Now what else we can do is we can add some conditions over here. What if it is going to touch to any of this borders, I want to take him back or somewhere else. So now this time again we'll go to control, and here we are going to use if. Now from here you will understand the concept of control structures as well very good. Though I guess all of you are attending Python sessions. So in Python we have already seen the if control structure. This is what here it is. So I want to check if it is touching to any of the border. So in case of Scratch it is really easy to do. So what else I have to do? So just go, but where? Now the thing is that, see, again check my condition is whether it is going to touch to any of the border. In the sense, थोडक्यात आता सांगायचं झालं तर आपण मराठीत सगळ्यांना कळत असेल तर अंधळी कोशिंबीर खेळतो त्यावेळेस काय करतो की भिंत लागली हाताला तर आपण तिथून बाजूला जातो. सो वी आर सेन्सिंग दॅट पर्टिक्युलर थिंग. करेक्ट? सो दॅट कम्स अंडर सेन्सिंग हिअर. येथे सेन्स होती आपल्याला ही अरे हे बॉर्डर आहे ही भिंत लाईक सो वी आर गोइंग टू सेन्स इट. सो I will say whether it is touching. So what is that? That is my condition. So see, I'm putting this outside. Now this diamond or whatever here it is blank, and it says that here you have to put your condition. And my condition I am going to put. So here in sensing I am getting the condition only. Correct? So I'm just dragging that condition and then putting here. So as soon as I take it, you will find that its border becomes white. I am putting that condition over there. So we are saying if touching. So whether it is going to touch to the edge. So automatically we don't have to worry about how to sense that edge. It is having that thing. So if it is going to touch to the edge, then what you want to do? So you want to move it somewhere else. So what else I can do? I may say, again I'll go to motion maybe, and I'll say fine, glide it to some different position. So let's check whether we can do it. So you can click here or here, one and the same. So we are executing. So initially, so as it is for 1 second, so it is just what is, so as soon as it touched to the edge, it got reflected from that somewhere else. Done. So this is how your if condition works. Correct? Okay. Now I'll just go one more step ahead, and then I'll ask you the question about whether you are getting this or not. Now the thing is that whenever this butterfly flies, do you find always it has its wings open? So no. Now if you go to the costumes, it shows that there are 3 versions of this. This is one, this is another, and this is third. So what I want is, whenever it will move, I want this particular costume it should wear, and whenever it will rest, then it should have this particular picture display. Correct? So in that case, I need to use, or I need to insert this. So what else I'll do is, maybe after this I'll try to insert. See, this is trial and error, right? You don't have to be correct. Don't think that will or whatever where to place. Yes, logically you can think of ki mala काय करायचंय. So I want to change something. So in that case, I may go to looks. So the looks has to be changed. So I'm saying here, maybe switch the costume to C. See, that is the third one. So this is my third costume. So I'm saying that wear that costume and glide it. So let's see what happens with this. A single change we did. See, Scratch is really interesting. Why? Because with the single change we can really check it out and we can view what is exactly happening. And if your logic gets clear over here, damn sure that whenever you go for Python, your logic is already built. So click on this. Any suggestion over here? So whenever it is coming to rest, I want to wear the original costume. So let me know now in the chat window, or if you want to unmute yourself and talk to me, you can tell me where should I ask it to wear the original costume. Everybody understood the sequence up till now? How we proceed? एक minute. Let me call my chat window. Gargi is saying we can change the costume in between. Madhu is saying when it is at rest. Gunautam is saying at the end. Okay, Parimal is saying put after gliding. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take 2 suggestions over here, one from Parimal and one from Gunautam. He said at the end. First of all, I'll try with that. Okay. So he said that please switch to the costume at the end over here. So that costume was the first one, that is A. So I'll hide my chat window because otherwise I am unable to see anything on the screen. Okay. Now let's try if I click on this. Good. And what if as Parimal suggested? He said that after glide you should change it. Oh, sorry. I'll remove this block. I'll put this block here. And then I'll put this here. And let's try. So tell me, I'm just moving it in front of you so many times just to get the sense of the sequence. Which sequence you find it is clear? Okay, should I replace that sound pop because actually it is hitting in my ears? Okay, tell me which suggestion is good, whether what are suggested by Parimal or by whom. I really can't pronounce that name, and hence I'm so sorry. Instead of making Gunotham, so whose sequence is correct? Yeah, thank you, Gunotham. So can you just explain me, Gunotham, ki whose sequence is correct, yours or Parimal's? Yours. Okay, well. Or Parimal, can you justify your answer why you said after gliding? Or anybody is there कि I should change the costume here in the if conditions? See, I'll just take it aside. I'll put it back all the blocks and I'll try to put it here. Now, please check whose mic audio is on. Can you please? Oh, so when it Madhu is, you are asking Madhu or telling me when it is at rest. See, so this sequence is not correct. Either this what I did is I mistakenly removed the block which I shouldn't. I wanted to remove this block and I wanted to put it here. Okay, let me know later. I hope everybody understood till this. Is it correct? Am I correct? Good to go for next. Okay. Fine. Yeah, I actually appreciate both of the answers, but instead of I replying on it, I want to see your observation. Correct? As I guess Madhu is asking when it is at rest. So exactly when you want, it should wear this costume. So it should be at rest and at that moment I want to have. So if I see that thing, so whatever earlier Parimal said, I would say after gliding it should wear the initial original costume. But the thing is that as far as wearing a costume is concerned, if I have to give it after glide, then just please pay attention that there are two glide blocks we have added, one before if and one as the body of the if. If it is touching to the edge, then glide for second for some other position. So make it rest to other position. So at that moment as well I need to put it. So in a way I need to have two blocks to be inserted over here. But if I just follow Gunotham's whatever suggestion, he said that at the end. So what will happen? So the code will execute this way. When you click on this green button, it will play a sound. It will change the costume saying that it is just flying. So wherever it is flying to the position it will go. And if it is not the edge, it will come down and say, yeah, I am at rest. So wear the original costume. Let's check another thing. So after gliding, it is touching to the edge. Yes. So it is again gliding to some another place, some random space, and it is resting. That means once again it will wear the costume, right? So this is what happens. This is called as the logic. Actually speaking, your thinking is not always wrong. I guess I can say that 90% of the time we think correctly, but as far as computer is concerned, if you try to place the things as you are thinking, it may increase the lines. It may add the redundancy. Redundancy in the sense adding same thing again and again, again and again, again and again. Right? So we want to avoid that, and hence I can say yes, whatever Guru has suggested, that is the best solution for this program. I guess I am clear with the things and hope you all understood what exactly the importance of sequence of logic is. Am I right? Yes, Guru, I am saying the same thing. Your answer is correct. I have explained why it is correct. You are able to hear me? Everyone else understood why his answer is more appropriate, more correct than Parimal's? Okay. So can we go ahead? Now we'll try to see some other blocks, but not the game. I hope you got the idea of if. I wanted to introduce you this if, and hence I just took this. Later we'll try with other games later in the coming sessions. Fine. So let's go ahead. And now I guess you all understood the process of creating it as a project by saying share. So once you say share, at that moment it becomes a one single running project wherein you don't have to switch in the script area also to run the application. It looks like it's a single application. Yeah. One more thing I can say that in earlier project of the drum and the singer, I have used the control, or sorry, the event called as when this sprite is clicked. Again, that was then wrong. If you wanted to execute as a single project, if I would have used this particular block, that is when that green flag is clicked, because whenever you see our application, it is showing the green flag. So whenever the green flag runs, I want to run this. So at that moment, instead of just taking the control as when, or the event as when that sprite is clicked, take this when green flag is clicked. Correct? So that once you click on that, it will start playing all the way along. It won't wait for that events to happen. So it is up to you. I'm not saying I did it wrong, but it is event driven, purely event driven, because once you hit the drum, that only will produce the sound. If you ask singer to sing, then only that singer will sing. It was how. Right. The next thing that now we are going to check it is something different. Once again, always we are going to start with the event. I'll say once again, whenever you are going to click on this arrow, I want to do something. No, what we want to do. We are going to now check it something saying say hello. That's it. So this is how our first program we wrote in Python. Print hello world. Correct? So this is what the same thing. Now I have not changed my sprite because we are not going to do any play with the sprite. That's it. So the thing is that I wanted to show you some other parts of it that we are going to use later in the next type of programs. So if I click on this, it is going to say hello. So in that case, it is just going to show this way hello. It is not going to say like hello. It is not going to say like that, right? So it is just going to print in this fashion. Sorry. Now, what is the next thing? Whenever you are doing the programming in Scratch, clear your logic. How? Now, if you see, I have clicked the program and program has ended as also, but that hello is there. In the sense, it is not the correct way of writing the program. I don't want to show it all along that hello. It is not saying that hello like that way. So hence I need to replace this, and here we have say hello for 2 seconds. And now let's try. If I say done, correct? So this is first thing. Even you can change whatever you want to say. So I can say hello or maybe good evening. So you can type it here. That is what I wanted to show, right? So it will, for 2 seconds it will display and it will go. I want that. Okay. Now the next thing is that I want to take input from the user. In case of Scratch, you can design your program, or you can say you can design your games which are very interactive. You can ask them. So can anybody help me with the palette? In which category of palette I need to check for ask your, what you can say? That how you think? Sorry, your guess. In which palette category I will find taking the input? Just a guess, huh? I know maybe you won't be able to. Okay. So scroll, and you get it here. In think, there is no thing. So in case of sensing, I have asked, correct? So I'll ask this. I'll say after 2 seconds, ask what's your name. Okay, and wait. So let's see. As soon as I said, it is saying good evening and it is asking me what's your name. Oh, I guess it is not showing me my message. So okay, what is your name? So my name is Priya. Done. It is doing this way. What's your name? Now the thing is that after this, what to do? Now after this, what I have to do is, whatever name I am giving, we have to store it in a variable. And surprisingly, Scratch has its own variable, predefined variable available, that is called as answer. So I am going to use this answer. So once again, what else we can do is scroll up and now the thing is that let's try. I'm just trying with putting that answer variable over here instead of hello. So let's try. It is asking me what's your name. I am saying Priya and nothing is happening. Oh no, I cannot use this. So I guess we have to search for something different. Now see, I am just telling you how we are proceeding. It's not like that we will say, Priya, you are only searching, then how come we'll know? So that is not the case. I am just letting you know how we are proceeding further and how to make use of the stuff. So very first we have asked the user. Now the problem was I wanted to use this answer variable which is there available with the name Priya. So let's go ahead, and if you scroll down, now at this place you get something called as join, correct? And yeah, you can show that. But the thing is that whenever you are using this join, now the problem is that it cannot fit in anywhere. So I need to have the container block for it, and once again hence I am going to use the same block. So we'll go to say here itself. I'll put it here. And what I'll do is I'll put this join block in place of hello, and I'll say hello, and instead of this banana, I would like to place my variable called as answer. Let's try. So it is asking me what's your name. I am giving it my name as Priya, and it is showing me hello Priya. Understood? Got it? How we, again I am telling you कि हाँ, I am just showing you the way we are thinking, we are proceeding further, and how really Scratch is helping us to build our logic. Correct? So this is how we can take input from the user and you can use it. So we have actually learned so many things behind the scene today. I'll save this and then once again we'll revise. So this is our getting user input. Very first thing we have seen how we can package or bundle our Scratch program and we can share it. So always remember, for that you have to go to our browser scratch.mit.edu, load your project and find whether you are getting the share as the button. If you are not, go to the about menu, find out your email settings and confirm whether your email address is confirmed with Scratch. If it is not, I will ask you to confirm. So it will send you the email for confirmation. So click on that and once you come back, you will find that share folder. And whatever is shared, that URL, that will be available in the copy link button. So get that link and share that link anywhere you want. First thing. Second thing we saw, right now we'll just revise this and then I'll load that butterfly. Now in this example of getting input, we learned that yes, Scratch is actually a programming language and it can do much more than what we have thought of. It is not only for just a time pass. Yes, it builds our logic as well. It helps us what exactly should happen and where exactly the control has to be there. So we have seen very minor differences right from the events. So as I said earlier in the first example, I took the event as the sprite click. So if that sprite is clicked, then only it will execute. Whereas actually speaking, I wanted to have when my program runs, correct? And now I replace that with that whenever user will click on the green flag. Now it is up to you. See, whenever you are doing the programming, when you are writing programming, there are three things that affects your program execution. First, what you think that should be there. Second, the importance to your client, what client think that what should happen, and the very third thing, which is really important, what program expects. Correct? So you need to understand what your program is expecting and above all what your client is expecting, not your thinking, right? So even though you say, Priya, what happens, my program is running. Yeah, for initial go, as you are the beginner, it's okay. It's okay, correct? But it is not correct. So in case of programming, you have to be very particular about the sequence and what should happen. So here I replace that sprite click to whenever user will click on the green flag. Then we have seen that yes, I can ask the user for anything. So I have this ask block wherein I can type my question and that will appear to the sprite as sprite is asking us the question. So always remember that even though you are saying ask or say, your sprite is not going to make any of the sound. Okay, so you'll ask me, Priya, if I want to. Any suggestions? Okay, my sprite should ask the question. That means it is showing me the text, but along with that, if it is possible, it will talk to us. Any suggestions? असं करू शकतो का तो? आपल्याशी बोलू शकतो का तो? तर ते तुमच्याकडे लागलं. तुम्ही मला शोधून दाखवायचंय की तो स्प्राइट बोलू शकतो का? Fine. And then we have put our message, whatever the question that we wanted, and that's it. The second thing is that importantly, sprite has its inbuilt variable automatically created, that is answer, which is always there. So whatever answer we have given, that is stored in the variable answer, and that we can drag and drop. The only thing is that in order to show that particular data, we need to put, or we need to use the operator called as join. Then only it will display us, correct, in the say. So we have seen that how say is modified to accommodate multiple values or the variables, correct. Initially it was saying say hello, so we modified it with join. In case of join, it was something apple and banana, we have modified it to hello and our variable. So everything is replaceable, and it's a really great thing. You have to just go dive deep and you will get it. Whereas in our earlier example of butterfly, yeah, my butterfly is flying now. We have seen here so many things. We have seen how to sequence exactly, how to change the costume once again, what exactly when it should happen. We have seen the event called as glide, what exactly it means by gliding, that means moving from one place to another place. And we have importantly seen that how if works in Scratch. So now I guess those who have a bit issues or the bit problems or the confusions with if, they might get clear over here. Again I am saying that we have just seen a single version of it, कि if that condition is correct, then only we are executing this. We have yet to see the multi-level ifs, that is if else. We have not seen the if else right now, but we are restricting ourselves today for this. Again we have seen that when to use and how to use that block. So we have seen with that why switch costume to the original position has to be the right statement, right? So this was the thing that today we have seen. I hope every one of you have understood. If yes, say yes to me, and you are going to find out the answer for what is whether my sprite is able to talk, correct? So hence we will stop here, and I'll request you all once again to practice it so that it will refine your logic for even Python. Okay? So good night, stay safe, stay home. Bye bye. Thank you, Gargi.
Has started.